Hello and welcome back. Today's video I will be ranking my highlighters, and I have already done this video actually. It was a while ago though, I think last fall, and I have gotten some new highlighters since then, so I thought that I would redo it. I may be redoing some of my other ranking videos that I have done. I may be thinking of redoing blush and eyeshadow palettes as well. I will link my ranking makeup playlist in the description box if you want to see more ranking videos. I will try to do swatches. I have 24 highlighters here. The only ones I didn't include, there are a few in face palettes that I did not include, but I did include some highlighter palettes. And yeah, let's get into it. Oh, and I did cut my hair today, which I've been cutting my own hair for a long time. I don't know how even it is, but I really like it. It was getting super heavy and it's actually still wet. But anyway, number 24, last place, Becca Opal. And I'm pretty sure this was also in last place in my last ranking highlighter video. And I like the formula, but it's just this color is a bit dark for me. And let me show you. It's really pretty. And for a long time, this actually was my favorite highlighter. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see these swatches, and I bet by the end they're all going to look the same, but I like the Becca formula. It's a more kind of everyday formula. It's not as crazy intense, but yeah, that one is just a bit dark for me. And then also number 23 is also Becca. This is Prosecco Pop. And I like this one, but this is very, very gold. I have hit pan on this one, if you can see. And it's just not something I want to reach for all the time. So there's Prosecco Pop. I do like this one a lot. I ended up not including Champagne Pop because I have that in a palette with some blushes, and I actually do like that one. I would say I like that one better than these two, just color-wise. Then this one, I do like it, but I just don't wear it very often. This is Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick in beige, and it's actually really nice. I don't know why I don't wear it. I just don't reach for it. This is kind of similar to the Becca formula where it's not super crazy intense, but this is a really pretty color. Beige is actually the perfect name for it because it is a beige. It's not really swatching all that well as I thought might happen, but there it is there. This one I think does look a bit nicer on the face than the other two, but for some reason I just don't reach for this one very often. All right, on to 21. That is this Morphe highlighter in Extra. And I enjoy this one also. This is a pretty stereotypical champagne light gold. Again, for some reason, I don't reach for this one as well, but I do like it, and it's a more finely milled formula. There are no glitters. Wow, these all look so similar. Okay, I clearly have too many redundant highlighters, but I swear on the face they look slightly different. Now, then let's go to a drugstore. This is Milani in Strobe Light. I actually really like this one. This is one where at first I didn't love it because I've noticed you need to like really blend it on there. If you only go like a couple swipes, it looks a bit weird. Like it looks like it's sitting on top of the skin, but if you blend it in more, it's actually much nicer. This one I would say has a bit of a pink undertone. And yeah, I really enjoy this one. The more I've used it, I like it a lot. And I don't even know that these are not swatching well. I will say highlighters are something where on the face, I feel like you really do need to see it because the textures just look different on the face than they do in swatches. I think a lot of cheek products don't tell a whole lot by a swatch, whereas I feel like eyeshadows tell you more. But anyway, I do actually really enjoy this one. Then let's go into a highlighter palette. And this is the Gimme More palette by Colourpop. I don't even know that they have this anymore. This is not my favorite formula. It's a bit powdery. It can look like it's sitting on top of the face, but the colors in here I really like are these two. And I love this one that has a pinkish undertone to it. Yeah, this one is really nice. It's definitely my favorite in the palette, and I'm ranking it higher just because I really do like the color, even though this formula I would say is definitely not the best. And I do think that Colourpop has better highlighters in their collection, and I'll be mentioning one later on. Then we have 18, and that is Wet n Wild Blossom Glow. This one is quite nice. This one also is one with a pinky undertone. I have hit pan on this one. This formula is one also that you do need to work with a little bit, but it can be quite intense. There it is right there. You can see it's one of the more intense ones from the ones that I've swatched. This goes on the face quite metallic. These are only $5 and I think it's lovely. Again, it's kind of one like the Milani one where you have to like really blend it in so that it doesn't look like it's sitting on top of the skin, but this is beautiful. And I really do love highlighters with a pink undertone quite a bit. All right, moving on to one that is good. It's good. I just don't reach for this very much. That is this Elsie highlighter in Pearly Glaze. I don't know. It's a nice champagne. It's one where it has the different stripes of different colors. I usually just kind of mix it all together. I don't know. I think they're just, I don't know. It's not revolutionary. There's nothing crazy. It's not bad. It's definitely more subtle. It's not glittery though. I think this one would be good for people that kind of have some texture and they don't want a crazy intense highlighter. This is a very finely milled formula and I do think it's good. Just for some reason, I don't reach for it. I think all in all, I probably would say I do prefer an intense highlight over a subtle one, but this, it's good. It's just not the best. Number 16 is another highlighter palette. That is the Makeup Geek palette with Kathleen Lights. This is from many years ago, I think 2016, and I like this. As you can tell, I've hit pan, but this is definitely my favorite color in here. These are just a bit dark. I can mix them with this one and get it to work on my skin tone, but this formula is amazing. It is supposed to be kind of similar to her foiled eyeshadow formula, and it's so smooth. I don't know. I just love this formula. She does still have highlighters and I may consider getting more at some point. You can't really tell in a swatch, but it's just so smooth on the face for something so intense. It really doesn't enhance texture or anything like that. I'm really impressed with this, and maybe at some point I would get more Makeup Geek ones, but honestly, if this was on its own, I probably would rank it higher, but it is along with these, which clearly I just don't reach for them that much as this one. The next two are loose highlighters, and I do love them both. The one I'm wearing today is this one. This is the Makeup Forever Starlit Powder in 13, I think. Yeah. This is so intense and beautiful. And as you can tell, I hardly put any on and it's this intense. And this has some gorgeous sparkles in it. The issue with this one is it's in this tiny little container. Let me try to swatch it. The problem is it gets everywhere. Every time I use this, no matter what I do, it's just everywhere. There it is. So this one is quite intense. You can't even really tell, but there's a lot of different colors in it that kind of reflect so beautifully. I love it. If this were somehow into a pressed formula, I know I could probably actually try to press it myself. I just don't want to mess it up, but it's absolutely gorgeous. But this whole loose highlighter thing, it's just a bit of a hassle and it gets very messy. Oh, yeah, it's like flying everywhere. I do like it though. And the next one I like just a bit more. This one has less messy of packaging. This is the Lancome Absolute Powder in Absolute Peche. And these powders, they vary. This one I would say is a highlighter on me. It's very shimmery. I had another one in Absolute Pearl that I talked about a lot. That one was a matte powder and that had a pink undertone and I used that for my under eyes. So if you buy these Absolute powders, just be aware they're all very, very different. Some are highlighters and some are mattes. This one is basically a light peachy gold, and it's definitely much more subtle than the Makeup Forever, but you can build it up. I don't even know that you can see it. Yeah, it's pretty subtle. It's definitely not to this level, but you can build it up, and this is a really good formula where it does not enhance texture at all. I know some people have said they're even setting their whole face with this. I have way too much texture and lines and pores to do something like that, but this is crazy expensive though. This is $60. I'm not sure it's worth the $60, but it is an incredibly finely milled powder. You know, I do like it, but if it disappeared, I'm not sure I would go out and spend the $60 again. All right, we are on number 13, and this one is fantastic. This is from Undone Beauty, and it's called their Nonzer 4-in-1 highlighting palette. This one was sent to me for a review. I really do love it though, and this is only $10. They sell this brand at Target now. As you can tell, it has 4 different stripes of highlight, And the ones I use most often are these two pink ones. They're pretty similar to each other, but this is a pretty intense one. Yeah, like there it is. That's quite intense. I really do love this though. It's a beautiful formula, also really good price. I also like their packaging, and yeah, this is a nice one. Okay, I think we're on number 12, and Ofra. I love the Ofra highlighters. This one is Everglow. This was with Nikki Tutorials quite a long time ago. They sell all three of these individually as well. My favorite is definitely the lightest one, which is called Glazed Donut. This is crazy intense though, and this one can definitely emphasize texture and fine lines if you go kind of too ham sandwich with it. There it is right there. It's very light, very bright, beautiful. This is one where I only put on a very small amount and then blend it out with finishing powder. Although I will say I always blend my highlighter out with finishing powder. Usually the Hourglass ones, dim light, that's one of my favorites. I've just noticed that doing that kind of melts my highlighter into my face and my blush and all of that. Definitely the Ofra ones need that because they are quite blinding and metallic, but I do love that. On to another one from Ofra, and this one is Beverly Hills. This one is very versatile because it has the 5 different stripes of color in it. I usually go with this one, but sometimes I mix all 3 of these. I had this one recently in a Shop My Stash, and this one's gorgeous. I think I like this one a bit more than Everglow just because the colors are, you know, a bit more versatile with the selection, and you can kind of mix and match them. I mixed in with one of the pinky ones, so that has a bit of a pink undertone. I really like that one right here. And yeah, pretty much those 3 little triangles are my favorite. And again, crazy pigmented. You only need a teeny tiny amount. And I do love the Ofra highlighters. I will say I actually do prefer this older packaging to this one just because this is really, really bulky, but that's okay. The formula is good. These are expensive. I think they're about $30 to $35. The prices, I think, vary on them a bit, whether I think they're collabs. I'm not sure exactly, but these are pricey. So I would say maybe try to get these on sale. A lot of people have coupon codes, and they're often on sale at Ulta. Right, the time has come for the top 10. And I am so surprised this ranks this high. This is the Too Faced highlighter in Fancy Pink Diamond. This is something I would have never purchased because this packaging is quite bulky, but I got this in Boxycharm and this blew me away. This is a pink highlighter, but it is so finely milled. It's crazy. I mean, just very flattering. There it is right there. You can build it up quite intense. This is definitely a formula I would recommend to people who want a pretty intense highlighter but are worried about texture. This is one of the most finely milled out of all of the ones that I'm talking about. It doesn't enhance texture and it looks like it's a part of your skin. I don't like it when a highlighter looks like it's sitting on top. This does not do that. These are kind of expensive, $36. I feel like now there are so many highlighters on the market. We're pretty oversaturated, you know, so paying over $30, probably not necessary, but that one is quite nice. All right, speaking of expensive highlighters, number 9, I'm gonna go with the Charlotte Tilbury, the highlight side of the Bronze and Glow. I do like this one. This is a more subtle one, and again, it's one of those very fine powders where there's no chunks, no glitters. Again, would be good for more textured skin or just someone who doesn't want a crazy intense highlight. As you can tell, I've hit pan on this one. This whole palette is $68, which is quite expensive. However, the bronzer in it is quite nice as well. I don't know if you can tell right there. It's more of a champagne type color, but this is one that just on the face, it looks like you're glowing and it just looks beautiful. I think this one is very flattering and good for like a natural but still glam makeup look. And yeah, this one is fantastic. Alrighty, opposite end of the spectrum, super cheap, $5, Essence. This is the Pure Nude highlighter in Be My Highlight. I really enjoy this one. I actually often use this one as a finishing powder. None of the other ones I use as finishing powder. That's kind of a separate category, but this one I can use for finishing powder or actually a highlight, and I like it for both, interestingly enough. And this is one where I feel like it barely shows up in a swatch. It's kind of a champagne color, but you can actually really build this up on the cheekbones to really make it glow, or I can just put a little bit on as a finishing powder. And I really enjoy that. Honestly, now that I have this, I'm like, I don't know that I need those hourglass powders because this is so cheap and it does work for that. But I don't know, there's something, again, about this formula that is very thin and smooth. Almost feels a bit hydrating. It sounds kind of weird, but it really does. This one is, again, one that does not emphasize texture, and it's just gorgeous. All right, we are on to number 7. Another Ofra one. This is the last of the Ofra. This is the Samantha March one, and this has 2 of their permanent highlighters in it. The pink one is Pillow Talk, and the yellow gold is Star Island. And I really do like these colors probably the most out of all of my Ofra highlighters. This yellow gold Star Island is just really, really pretty. And it goes well, I think, with my skin tone. And the pink one, again, I love pink highlighters. I don't know that you're seeing those, but they are there. And these are intense, although for some reason, I don't know, this is much newer. I've had this one for a much shorter amount of time than the other ones. These are not as foiled and metallic, which is kind of a good thing, honestly, because the other 2 I don't ever wear during the daytime, whereas this one I can wear during the daytime or build it up, for more of an evening type look. But yeah, I love both of the colors in here, and I sometimes mix them together as well, and they are beautiful. Okay, number 6. This is kind of a newer one for me. I've only had it, I think, a couple of months. This is the Colourpop Super Shock in Flexitarian. And I have heard people talk about this a ton, and I finally got it. I didn't get it for a while because the Super Shock eyeshadows I've had do dry out rather quickly. And this, I just didn't want it to go bad because I have so many other highlighters. It is only $8, but I decided, you know what, there it is. It's pretty intense, as you can see. This, I just kind of dab on with my finger because it is that Super Shock formula. It's a bit of like a wet, not moussey formula, but yeah, it's not a powder. Yeah, it's hard to use with a brush, but I just kind of dab it on with my finger, and it works as a base for other highlighters, but it's obviously very intense. You don't need to put another highlighter on top of it. And yeah, if you want a crazy intense highlighter that is very inexpensive, I think this would be it. All right, we are in the top 5, and I am shocked that I'm ranking this high. This is Kylie Ice Me Out, and this was a free gift with purchase at Ulta a while ago, and I was like, okay, sure, free gift with purchase, I'll take it. And it's amazing. I think this is full price, around $17, which is not that crazy expensive compared to some of these other high-end highlighters that I have. This is a very light champagne type gold. This one is also on the very, very intense side, I would say. There it is right there. It is very bright. This is one where it could be more similar to the Ofra ones where it could emphasize texture and lines. You'd want to be very careful with that, but I love it. I don't put too much on. Otherwise, it's a little bit crazy, but it's really beautiful, and I'm kind of shocked, but I will say out of the Kylie products I have, I do really like them. It's a brand I didn't even want to try for a long time, but this is quite nice, and the price is really not that crazy. Number 4 is actually one that I bought on a whim as well, and that is this Urban Decay Afterglow in Sin. I actually randomly saw this at a Marshall's, and I bought it. I gotta say, it is quite nice. I really do enjoy this packaging as well. I must say this is one of my favorite packaging out of all of these because it's super pretty and shiny, but it's also compact, doesn't take up a lot of room. And again, this color is really nothing crazy or interesting. It's just a champagne light gold. Clearly, that's what I like. I'm seeing a lot of recurring colors here, but yeah, I have a lot of repetitive highlighters, but I really do love highlighter. And yeah, this one is quite nice. There it is right there. I don't think this one is as intense as the Kylie or the Ofra. This is probably somewhere in between, like a subtle Essence one and the very intense Ofra level, somewhere in the middle. You can definitely build it up, or you could put on a very light amount. And the color of this is beautiful. These aren't discontinued, but they are hard to find. I think they still only sell them on the Urban Decay website, but yeah, like I said, I found this at Marshall's for only $7, and turns out it's one of my favorite highlighters. Here we are in the top 3, and number 3 is the Nicole Guerrero Anastasia Glow Kit. This is a newer one. Well, I've had it for like 2 months now, and I do really enjoy these colors, and I really do like this formula. This is a formula that is a bit more glittery. I don't mind that though, because as long as you buff it into the skin well, you don't really see the glitters. And yeah, I just really like the color variety in here. These 4 are my favorite for sure. Kitty Cat, this one is fantastic. This one has a bit of a pink undertone. I really do like pink toned highlighters, and this is amazing. This is one of those things. I was one of those people that coveted this, hoped they would re-release it. I'm actually really glad that they did. I actually heard a few people say that they had the original and they thought that this formula was even better. So pretty cool there. Also gorgeous packaging and a lot of highlighter palettes, you know, like that Makeup Geek one I have. A lot of the colors can be too dark for you or too light for you, but I will say, other than this one, these do all work for my skin tone, you know, so this is better for me than that Makeup Geek one, where really only one of them works perfectly. However, yeah, this one is beautiful, nice colors, nice formula. And number 2, also another glow kit. This is the Sugar Glow Kit. And if you saw my original ranking highlighters video, this fell at number 1. And it's great. It really, really is. This one, all 4 colors. I love all 4 colors work for me. My favorite is definitely Starburst, this one that has a pink undertone. Clearly, I like either pink highlighters or light champagne colors. This is probably one of the most blinding. I don't know, it doesn't swatch that crazy, but on the face, this formula is actually a bit more intense than the Nicole Guerrero formula. They're not the exact same formula, even though the brand is the same. This one is a bit more densely packed, this formula. It has a few glitters in it as well, but I actually think this one's a bit less glittery than the Nicole Guerrero one. But yeah, Starburst, definitely my favorite, but I love all 4 colors. Sometimes I mix them together or just use one of them. And yeah, this one is fantastic. All right, number 1. I cannot believe I'm ranking this as number 1, Mary Luminizer. This highlighter, it's like a lot of these. I mean, this looks a lot like the Kylie one and a lot of the other ones that are champagne colored, but this formula is beautiful. It can be built up to be very, very intense. There it is right there. But this is one where you can build it up to be very intense and it still doesn't look bad. It doesn't look crepey. It doesn't look textured. I don't know what they did to this, but I absolutely love it. And a few years ago, more than a few years ago, like 5 years ago, I had a mini size of this and I completely finished it. It was the first highlighter I ever completely finished and I really missed it. And I thought about it like through the years, and then finally last year I repurchased it on a pretty good Black Friday deal. The balm often has sales, and yeah, I think full price it's $24, but you can often find it for like 15 or 16, which I think is what I paid for it. It's just really beautiful. Like I said, the color, you could find that color 20 times over in my highlighter collection, but there's something about the formula that just looks amazing. It doesn't emphasize any irregularities on the face, and it's beautiful. All right, that is it for my ranking highlighters video. And I do love my highlighters. I really do. I would say eyeshadows are my number 1 favorite makeup category, and highlighter is probably number 2. And I do like a more intense highlighter, Clearly there's some colors here that are very, very repeated through my collection, but I really do love them all. And I will say that a lot of them, they look the same in a swatch, but they do look more different on the face. And I think highlighter is one where the formula often matters even more than the color and really makes a difference with how it looks on the face. Let us know, what is your favorite highlighter? I'm very curious. I am in love with highlighter. That is it. Thank you so much for watching.